School and gymnastics were really a huge part of my life. I was really successful in school. I was working a year and a half ahead. I was a pretty talented kid. I did well in gymnastics, and I was, again, working ahead of what most of the kids my age were able to do. And through all this and the doing well in school and doing well in sports, doing well in things that I was pulling together on my own strength, I developed a pretty serious arrogance, feeling like I can do life on my own, and I never really had this feeling of needing to be dependent on something that was greater than me. I was 14 and I was working out with the UW at the gym. Their head coach had taken interest in me, so he invited me to join their team and be able to compete and work out with these guys that, you know, were 10 years older than I was. And then all that kind of ended when I broke my back. I was able to get up and, you know, kind of shower once a day, but that was basically it. I couldn't really walk. I had been in a lot of pain, so I'd started a regimen of painkillers, and that had really interfered with schooling, and I just wasn't able to study. I no longer have my sport. I'm no longer ahead in school. I'm addicted to drugs now, or I'm, you know, trying to fight this addiction. And having all those things stripped away from me, it really kind of wrecked my identity, and it really broke me down. And I felt kind of valueless, like I have no value anymore. At that point, I'd been working here at North Shore, and I'd grown up here at North Shore. I was always exposed to the church. I grew up in a Christian family. I understood what was out there in that sense, but to some extent, I was afraid of being wrong. I'm an extremely analytical person, and there's something that bothered me about just buying into Christianity, buying into God, without some sort of tangible thing to base my beliefs off of. So I went through this phase where I was doing all this research on all these other religions, and I was trying to figure out, what is God? Is Christianity unique? Is there anything special about it? Is there anything meaningful about it? Why do people do Christianity? Why do people do Mormonism? Why do people do anything? I find sociology really interesting in looking at how people relate to each other and how they interact together. And humans live in community, and that's not always an easy thing to do. Relating to people is really, really hard sometimes. It's very fulfilling, but asking the question, why is that fulfilling? And for me, Christianity really answered that question by way of saying that God is a relational God. He wants to know you, and he likes you, and he cares about you, and he loves you. Throughout this entire process, I had been praying and just say, look, if you're really real, if you're really out there, reveal yourself. You need to make yourself real to me, because I have to see this somehow. And there was never really an aha moment for me. But over the course of a couple of years, through being broken down in that, and then, you know, asking God to reveal himself, and as I realized that I need something more than myself, I am not self-sufficient, I don't got this, I really just started seeing patterns and seeing God moving in the lives of the people that I was working with, relating with. And that's really kind of how I started to believe that there really is this greater being out there that does love me, that does care about me, and who loves and cares about everybody else in the world. And that allowed for me to put my faith into it wholeheartedly.